Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. And today, I will be reading a Todoroki Extruder, a random MHA thoughts on Tumblr. So let's get into it. Shoto never expected to fall in love with her when he did. In his head, the moment you fall in love was supposed to be a magical moment, spiritual awakening, a moment where the light is supposed to hit at just the right golden angle, a chorus of angels beginning to sing in his head. The world going dark around the two of them as they stare into each other's eyes. As he sweeps her off her feet, this hopelessly romantic boy would have believed in love at first sight had he experienced that. But it didn't happen for him. His love bloomed slowly, but surely beneath the surface. Not to say that Shoto did not love her before that moment. More like it suddenly dawned on him exactly how much he did in that moment. A waterfall of love had been building up from behind the dam of his heart and lay dormant until he turned around and realized that the dam had a huge crack in the middle and was rushing forward to flood him entirely. Shoto's girlfriend was a cute 4 feet and 10 inches height, with a curvy physique, though she's pointed out many times that she prefers to be called fun-sized rather than tiny. She's tall enough for the balls of her feet to touch the ground on her computer chair in her apartment, and just enough for the bottoms of her feet to rest against the ground when chairs at school. Starting in her college years, she stopped wearing sneakers in favor of wearing ankle boots with a small heel in them, just so she could at least reach to 5 feet. Shoto noticed the deeply worn creases in her daily pair and bought her a new one for her birthday 1 year. The thing that makes Shoto's girlfriend look her age is her presently curvy figure. From any angle, front, back, or side, he could draw in his curve on her body with his eyes. In the beginning of the relationship, he kept his wandering gaze to himself, and she was more embarrassed about it. But they both got used to his new evolved adventurous hands when they're alone. Oh, how he loved tracing every contour of her. So warmth blooms inside both of them. But now those moments with the crack that broke the dam. It wasn't the first time we saw her having a Katsuki or Kirishima, or teasing her about how short she was. Both of them loved patting her head and calling her a child, seeming the flustered girl. To officially coin her catchphrase, "I'm not tiny, I'm fun-sized." Shoto would be left reassuring her that her small height was one of her favorite, most adorable things about her, pulling her by her waist and pressing a soft kiss to her easily accessible forehead. It wasn't the first time she felt as neck to initiate a kiss herself for once. Being small means Shoto would be at optimal height to kiss her forehead and snuggle her into his chest. It also put him always at an advantage for surprise kisses when you could simply lean down whenever it felt like flustering her. Whenever she wanted to kiss him, she would have pulled in his sleeve so he could bend down to be level with her, eliminating her chances of catching him off guard. But one day she was completely fed up. She looped her arm around his neck and yanked him downward, effectively shocking him for a moment. The look of absolutely smug triumph on her face was something Shoto would remember and tease her about, even when they grew old. It wasn't any of the countless times when he laid his head on her beautifully thick thighs, the right amount of cushion under his head. As he reads his book almost puts him to sleep, like she's the perfect pillow he could ask for. And one day, when he turned his head to watch her reading with such an adorable look of concentration, a sneaky thought to get her attention entered his mind. He pivoted over farther and blew a raspberry into her thigh, getting the yelp punch out of her. Before she could reprimand him for losing her place, Shoto had bent down both of her arms and set on her legs before lifting her shirt up and blowing another raspberry in her stomach. The giggles that flew out of her mouth were music to Shoto's ears, as he resolved to do that more often, erupting them into a whistling match of tickles and laughter. It was in the moment she wore one of his shirts for the first time, and he chuckled out a comment that it looks more like a dress on her. The cotton fabric was landing off her shoulders, and the hem went down mid-thigh. And when she looked in his mirror and he wandered up behind her to place the chin on her head, he saw just how tiny she was compared to him. His arms easily sneaked around her waist and kissed her before hoisting her up by her thigh. As she took pictures of them in the mirror, he still has that photo set as his phone background to this very day. And yet, it was not any of those moments. When Shoto awoke in the middle of the night in their shared apartment because of a dream he had, hit his head to get a hot cup of tea to put him back to sleep. On his way to the kitchen, he heard rustling and hurried to check what was going on in the already illuminated room. Turning the corner into the room, he couldn't hold back his laughter. There, his girlfriend was, teetering on the silver of counter space, lining the sink on her knees, reaching for a mug on the second shelf from the top, her face contorted into one of scarlet concentration with her bottom lip between her teeth, and tried to cross his arms over his chest and watch from the doorway. Love, whatever are you doing? She whipped her head around to glare at him wordlessly. Though she knew Shoto never meant to put anything that hard to spite her, and his small stature intentionally. She despised how he was laughing at her miserably, precarious position. Shoto stayed back, partially enjoying watching her struggle, but mostly because he knows she's rather stubborn and would prefer getting it herself. After going through this entire ordeal, when she finally reached the mug, she let out a breath of relief and set it down to the side. Let me help you down, Shoto offered, swallowing his chuckles to help her down safely. It was a gentle manly gesture, but her legs finally gave out on her, and she tumbled backwards into her boyfriend, sending them both flying backward and landing on his abdomen with a harsh exhale. She turned around and eased her weight off him, mildly asking if he was alright. Your lovely rear end nearly knocked the life out of me, but a satisfying way to almost die. The adorable blush that colored her face made her straddle his stomach again, just to spite him as they both laughed in the middle of the kitchen floor. And it was just then that Shoto realized the breath knocked out of him, and his stomach crushed under the weight of his lover. That she had swept him off his feet. It was then that Shoto realized just how endlessly he loved her.
Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did making it. Anyway, goodbye.